It's the final word phone in here on talkSPORT with me, Majestic, and former Premier League manager, Alan Pardew. We are here until 9 p.m. tonight, going through all the weekend's action, of course, reflecting on the two games that happened today in the Premier League, with Spurs beating Manchester United 1-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and Liverpool beating Wolves 2-1 at Anfield. In the WSL, Manchester United 3, Crystal Palace 1. This is no good. Arsenal 5, Spurs 0.
Oh.
Chelsea 2, Everton 1, Leicester 3, Aston Villa 0.
No one's beaten Chelsea, are they? They just keep winning.
Yeah, I know. West Ham 3, Brighton 1. It's a difficult one for me, Pards, because my niece, she's only about 9, plays for Arsenal. And yes...
What, the first team?
She plays for the Arsenal... Yeah, like the kids.
Younger.
And so the other day, in our family group chat, my sister Natasha sends the photo of my niece in an Arsenal kit, because obviously she plays for Arsenal. Felt very strange.
Well, you know, unfortunately,
we know ourselves. Benty, Darren Bent, Arsenal fan, played for Spurs.
You know, there's so many situations like that. And Palace got a big cup game coming up with Millwall. They've just taken their best player. Can you imagine how that's going to go down?
No good at all. After Manchester United's disappointing loss to Spurs in a drab affair at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds spoke with United boss Ruben Amorim about his side's defeat.
Get out of this Premier League season, or does it become all about the cups?
No, it's become all about to win the next game. That is the focus. We are always thinking of the next season, the end of the season, winning cups. My focus is on just the next game. Try to stay with these players fit to face the because we are in a difficult situation. Just focus on the small things. And the small thing is the next training, the next game, and that's all.
And I know you mentioned Ahmad there. Is there any update on Kobe or Lenny or any of the other players that dropped out of the squad today?
I don't know how long they will be out. I think we can recover for the next games. Maybe Ugarte, maybe Lenny. Chris was sick, and we have to be careful because of the heart situation. So we will try everything to have more players.
That was the Manchester United boss, Ruben Amorim, speaking to talkSPORT's Alfie Reynolds there after their side's 1-0 defeat at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And in the words of some old-school Manchester United gentlemen, lads, it's Tottenham. 3 times this season.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a Spurs fan for 1 second and just remind...
Was that come out of Roy Keane's book, wasn't it?
I think it was. And Roy Keane
from...
Roy Keane has actually come out and said he's a Spurs fan. He actually was a Spurs fan growing up. He said it publicly now. You know, it's always been like rumoured that he was. And he said, growing up, I was a Spurs fan. So I was like, interesting.
Interesting it come from his book as well, though.
Yeah. Great show as always. Shout to Dev, AJ and Mo. They're on their way home from the game. Come on, you Spurs. Poor quality football from both teams, but a great win for us. Spurs doing the double over Manchester United. Levy out, ENIC out. A change of culture and direction is needed at the club. Focus is needed on the field. So I wonder if they was at the...
that sounded like they might have had a little run out with the protest. Yeah.
Right, let's go speak to some more Manchester United fans for some Sunday therapy. Michael joins us. Evening, Michael.
Evening.
I'm not sure if you heard some of the calls that have gone already this evening. I think it was Dave, the gentleman who was a bit upset. You can hear in his voice how passionate he was about Manchester United. I'm sure you're the same. What's gone wrong with your club, mate?
I'm angry. I'm angry at the top. It starts from the top. So the Glazers, since I've spoken, the Glazers are taking too much money at the club. They're not invested properly. They recruited bad management. There's no structure. Jim Ratcliffe's come in and he's picked his man, was Ten Hag. He backed him with 200 mil in the summer, spent 600 million on rubbish players. Now,
and Dan Ashworth, by the way. Dan Ashworth was there, wasn't he? He was brought in by Jim. He's gone.
Yeah. And now that's shambles. And then the ship is not sinking. It's sunk. The ship has sunk. Now, we just had January transfer window. We got 1 player in. Where was the striker? You know, you got to clear the decks. Clear the wood out now. That's what they should have done in January. They need to clear the wood. The problem you got then, you go, we need to get rid of the players.
Yeah.
But who's going to buy the players?
Exactly.
We now got to, in the summer, we now got to buy. We've got to sell before we can buy. That's how far we've gone behind.
Can I ask you a question, Michael? Just Ganacho, let's talk to him, who had the big miss today. would you supplement him if he brought 50 million into the football club, 60 million in?
No, I don't think I would.
You'd still like to keep him?
I want to keep him because he was one player today. I mean, if we had Ahmed, it would have been better. But obviously, he's going to be probably out for the rest of the season. That's a hell of a miss.
Yeah, he's done well,
there
hasn't
are
he?
players there who shouldn't even be. Casemiro needs to go. Luke Shaw needs to go. Mason Mount needs to go. I mean, you go for the whole list.
But the problem is with those, Michael, the contracts that they're on, the numbers that they're on, especially Casemiro. You're going to collect the rest of that, don't you, Pards? Well, the rest of that money, I sounded a bit cockney there. But surely you're going to wait and receive the rest of that contractual money obligation.
Yeah, well, of course. Casemiro's agent's sitting pretty there. Whatever deal they're going to do, Man United are going to have to supplement that. The only problem I think that Jim Ratcliffe has is obviously the rules around financial fair play, etc., and the UEFA rules, that there doesn't look like there's any headroom. Hence, he keeps, this staff of the football club, people who have been at that football club for years and years and years, losing their jobs. Whether the administrator lost her job a couple of weeks ago or last week, and all these staff again, more layoffs, and the email going around about you mustn't say anything. We're trying to turn the club around. It sounds like they've got themselves in a really difficult position, and I don't really know what the strategy is to get out of it. But at the moment, as Michael is stating, it does look like a big mess.
Right, let's look at some of the messages coming through from Jim here. He said, great win today for Spurs. Not sure why everyone is saying we played poorly. I thought it was a rather good display. Also, for all those Wallies in the protest, they should remind themselves that Daniel Levy handpicked tonight's man of the match. Ooh.
What was that, sorry?
They're saying the Wallies that are in the protest, this is from Jim, they should remind themselves that Daniel Levy handpicked tonight's man of the match. Now, Jed Spence, when he came to the club, there was the whole thing that it wasn't Conte's signing, it was a club signing.
I see the point you're making.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily mean that was down to Daniel. That would have been the recruitment team, surely.
No, it would have been the chief executive, the owner, which is Daniel Lee would have the final call on that.
Final call?
Yeah, to tick the box and go, we'll bring him in. Regardless of... and I've had that as a manager where, the recruitment team are so strong, then the owner feels as well that there's enough evidence to suggest that this player is going to be good enough. And then you tick the box. Even though the manager might be like, not sure. And I've been in that situation a couple of times myself. I actually think he's been terrific when I've seen him play.
I had a message here for you, Al, from Neil. Who's both a Man United fan and a Plymouth fan. This is good. Hi, guys. I want to ask Alan, as a manager, when you see someone like Katic, central defender for Plymouth, who plays with passion and leadership, would you not want him? I want him at Man United.
Well, yeah. I genuinely think that we have so many foreign technical directors. I think they are missing a trick in the Championship and the levels below that of players that definitely can step up. Definitely. And, it's obvious to get the ones at the top of the Championship are doing well, those names, but there's others that, and certainly the character and the discipline of being a first teamer from sort of 18 to 22. There's so many players in the lower divisions that get ignored. Yeah,
absolutely. Tommy's just message saying, Madge sounded like Terry Tibbs. Do you know who Terry Tibbs is?
Terry Tibbs, I do know that name.
It's the voice I'm doing for £25,000. He used to do a face jacker. He'd ring you up and say, what the ladders total me? Maserati 350. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's go to the phone lines. 03 717.
Actually. I have no idea who Terry Tibbs is.
I'll show you after the show. 03 777 223344. We got Abs, who's a Man United fan. How you doing, Abs?
Evening, guys.
I can tell how Abs is feeling in just that voice. Abs, your therapy with Imagine Pards begins here. What needs to happen with Man United?
Man United needs to get relegated. I think I rang up earlier on in
relegated.
Ten Hag. Yeah, I rang up earlier on and I spoke to you guys. And when Ten Hag was in charge, I said that Man United need to get relegated.
Wow.
And why was I saying that? But there are no more words left in the Oxford Dictionary to describe what I'm seeing on that pitch. I'm become so numb to what I'm seeing. We've scored 28 goals in 25 games and we have 29 points. I mean,
lost 12 games.
To be in the Premier League when you have them sort of stats.
Yeah. It's incredible, you know, with the two teams that played today. Tottenham have lost 13 and Man United have lost 12. And then when you look at Everton, who have been struggling all season, obviously Moyes has gone in there, given them a massive boost, but they've only lost 9. That goes to show you exactly where you are. I mean, I don't think the worst thing that could happen to you is actually to go down. I know what you're assuming there, that maybe you can be able to address some things and have a rejig, but it would be absolutely a disaster in terms of financially if that football club got near a relegation situation.
But I feel like that needs to happen in order for the top 2 to get removed. Like the Glazers, we all know they need to go, and they've got this puppet Jim Ratcliffe behind making all the decisions. Now he hasn't got a clue what he's doing. You can see that when he got rid of Ten Hag mid-season, they brought in Amorim saying to him, "You have to take the job, or it's now or never." Kind of forced him to take the job because it's the biggest job in the world, and he can't say no. They didn't back him. Got rid of all the wingers in the January window. We did replace him. We have one winger for the rest of the season, which is Garnacho, who can't at the moment, as you've seen, again, missed a great chance again today. Hasn't scored in 14 games. What are we going to do? Like, realistically, that's the reason why I'm saying it. But, I mean, I don't
Well, you can lean back on the Dave Brailsford Mission 21 they're put in place. This great concept of how they're going to win the league again with the male and the female team.
Yeah. Don't get Gabby in the middle of that again, please.
No, okay, we'll give that subject.
Leave that to Alan and Shaban to have a chat.
No, trust me, you definitely do not want to go down. You don't. I know. It won't solve your issues. You're better off solving them in the Premier League as best you can.
03717223344. United fans, come for your Sunday evening therapy with Imagine Pards. And Spurs fans, have you turned a corner?
Where's the Liverpool fans? I can't believe it. They've won again today. In a game which was a bit sweaty. The first time, actually, I've seen Liverpool look a little bit... Obviously, they've had a couple of tricky results, but today they looked nervous, didn't they, towards the end? I thought, might nick something here.
Like potential champions, they got it over the line. And, as a Spurs fan, I'm going to say it, Arsenal not going to give up, are they? They're not going to give up.
Oh, and we got a little thing coming about Arsenal later, about centre-backs turning into strikers, which... Obviously, listen, Marino did the little cameo.
We've already seen a legend who did that once upon a time. The Doc, Gary Doherty.
Gary, I forgot about him. We were talking earlier when you wasn't in for that. I wasn't
in there.
Gary Doherty, he did.
The Doc, mate.
Yeah, he did do a little
Doc,
bit.
Yeah.
We got a couple of names. Don't worry about that. A bit better than Gary, actually.
He scored in the FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal when we lost.
Oh,
go on, the Doc. Up the Doc.
He was a decent player, actually, Gary.
03772233344 is the final word on talkSPORT.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app, and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.